Hello, welcome to our second email of week 2. For Wednesday and Thursday, we are going to look at the skin. I actually was nice and I made this discussion. Where's the discussion? Up here. Due today. If you haven't done already, please do it. And try to do the first choice. Put a picture of a slide you like and a slide you don't like, because my idea was you're getting a lot of different histology slides and you can see what they look like. So we're doing the skin. The lecture is short and the lab is short. So for the lecture, what you are going to do is there are only 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I lied, 5 parts. And you are going to just watch what the part is. For the epidermis, pay attention to the layers, what's going on in the layers. For skin coloration, I'll ask you one of the skin colorations. I'll ask you a couple of the special cells. For the dermis, what are the 2 parts of the dermis? What is found in each part, especially the type of tissue it is and the type of corpuscle. And then the skin glands, I want to know what the skin glands make and where they exit to. Lastly, and nobody has ever gotten mammary gland wrong, please don't be the first. Then the last one, what are the parts of the hair? There's going to be like 1 question on that one. So it's actually a very short lecture. For lab, we're looking at the skin. Before I talk about the lab, there is no case study. You might be able to see this, you might not. It is not due. It will not be unlocked. Please do not do it. I wanted you to have more time to study. And there's the study guide. For our lab, we're doing the skin. We're going to do histology, including a project histology, then some lab book pages. For part 1, we're doing the drawing. We are going to look at the different layers of the epidermis, which will look something like this. We'll have the stratum corneum, the stratum lucidum. The black or purple layer is the granulosum. Spinosum's down there. Then this one little layer right here, that's the stratum basale. So we're going to look at the different layers. The epidermis, this picture has them too. So basale is the base, 1 layer. Spinosum, granulosum. Lucidum's a clear layer, then corneum. So you're going to look at it, you're going to draw it. You do not have to draw it in the lab. It could just be a humongous piece of paper. And I gave you 2 different web pages. This one, the picture's beautiful. I do not expect that artwork. So the second part, I was going to have you just find pictures and label them. I couldn't find any website that had 3 nice pictures of all the glands and all the corpuscles. So I'm going to open it up for you. So what I did for this was my children and I baked a cake. So here's the cake. Allow. There's the cake. And we have different parts. Here we have the axillary region with our apocrine gland, very large. Its duct goes to the hair. Here we have the scalp, where we have lots of eccrine glands. You have lots of sweat glands in your scalp going to the surface. Not very much corpuscles. And then we have just regular skin. We have some Pascean corpuscles in the hypodermis. The hypodermis is whipped cream and marshmallows, which tasted yummy, didn't it, Amelia?
Yep.
We have the dermis. We have the sebaceous glands on the hair follicles. We have the palpary layer of the dermis, which is actually angel food cake. That was delicious. It only took 20 eggs to make the angel food cake. There's the Meissner's corpuscles. The epidermis is ladyfingers with whipped cream.
Marshmallows in whipped cream.
And then we have the hair shaft. I would personally, if you do it, make it 2-dimensional. Use good buttercream frosting, not the $2 disgusting piping gels you buy at the store. I will show you a spine cake that my kids did this past weekend, and it turned out so much better. So you could do something creative. You could do artwork. You could do something with Legos. I got a lot of Lego projects last year. So many people apparently have younger siblings. So what I care about is we have an epidermis. You have the layers epidermis, dermis, hypodermis. You have apocrine glands, large lumens going to the hair follicles. Eccrine glands, small lumens going to the skin. Sebaceous glands on the hair follicle. Meissner's and Pascean corpuscles. So these are some links that have histology. I have a drawing. You can do the anatomy coloring book. I a lot of you were talking about, so just print it out, do a page of it. Mine got stolen. Mine walked off. I cannot give you the pictures from it. So it's up to you. Now, one thing you could do is visit our cadaver. Now, for this lab, we would normally be taking the skin off the cadaver. This is the cadaver website. And what you are going to get in this email, and I'll have a separate one, is the login instructions. It has to be an email at 4cd.edu, so your Insight email. And we're going to use models. So if you really want to, you could put the skin on, you could put the muscles underneath, you could go to tools and just start cutting. If you really want to, ta-da, that's what we would be doing in this lab. So it would be a nice stress relief if you really want to do that. But we're not going to do that. If you look on the bottom of this page, it says model. So if I click on models, I can click on skin, I get the skin. And I could turn the skin around, I could click on structures, there's a sebaceous gland. That is an apocrine gland. How do I know that's an apocrine gland? The duct goes to the hair follicle. So you could just go here, play around with it, go to tools, label, click on the structures. There's the sebaceous gland. There's the apocrine gland. So that's another idea you can do. But I'm leaving it up to you. Be creative. I cannot and will not grade you on your artistic ability. I want you to understand where the structures are and how they're related. So lastly, you have Lab Quiz 2 to study for. Originally, I was going to open it next week, close it next week. I then moved the closing date back. I moved the opening date. So it actually opens tomorrow, and you have 7 days to take it. Most lab quizzes, you'll have 2 days to take. So the lab quiz is timed. You have 16 minutes to do 20 questions. Now, this is the sample test. 21 questions, 12 minutes. And I'm going to click preview. Now, the problem with Safari is, so it's going to give you the instructions. It's going to give you the questions one at a time. There's a problem with Safari. It thinks some of the pictures are not here. These pictures were zipped, uploaded to Canvas. It thinks they're from an outside web source, so it's not giving them. If I go over to Chrome, the picture works fine. Now, I just took all of your actual tests on Safari. All the pictures work on the actual tests. So basically, you'll have a question. It'll either be what letter indicates something, and some of them I'll even just have you write the letter. And you could scroll forward and backwards. And you have the timer counting down. I set this timer low for 12 minutes because I want you to get practice going through and taking a time test in a short period. This should not be a test, can you take a time test? This is a test, do you understand what the structures are? So what's the region highlighted? It better be the axillary, so I'll click axillary. So that is what the test will be like. So if I scroll down here, some histology. So this histology, I'll have nicer pictures in this. This is the book pictures, so this one probably wouldn't come up. So there's adipose. We didn't have fibrocartilage yet. So let's go to a different picture for histology. Your pictures are going to be like this, large pictures. What type of tissue is this? So it's a time test. Take practice tests. This you could take many times. You can take it many times on Quizlet. Get used to taking the tests before you actually take it. So there might be some pictures like this where I have 4 pictures and I ask you which letter is the tissue. So now pay attention, it says lowercase letter, so I would have to write the lowercase letter, density regular would be D. So, but I try not to do this on the quizzes. So study for your quiz. And again, I dropped the low 2 quizzes, but it would be ideal if you did 100% on all the quizzes until the last 2, so when all the other stress comes, you could blow those off. But you can also drop this one if it's your low test. So that is our week. Thank you very much.